Today on Prefactoring Practice Part 2, we are working on reviewing multiply polynomials using the box method or the table method, called both. So this is how we learn to review to multiply polynomials in 7.2. So remember we had 3x plus 4, so we put one of them on the top of the table and one to the left of the table. And so in this first box you're doing x times 3x, which is 3x squared. In this top right box, you're doing 4 times x, which is positive 4x. I like to write the plus sign with it. The bottom left side, you're doing 3x times negative 7. That's negative 21x. And negative 7 times 4 is negative 28. So it says, write the polynomial in expanded form before combining like terms. So this is expanded form when we have 3x squared plus 4x minus 21x minus 28. So now it says, write the polynomial in standard form. Combine the like terms and write from the highest power to the lowest power. So we have 3x squared. The 4x minus 21x becomes negative 17x and then minus 28. So factored form is the form it started with, the 3x plus 4 in parentheses, and then the x minus 7 in parentheses. That's factored form. Expanded form is the one before you combine the like terms, but after you've multiplied. So like this. And standard form is having combined like terms and writing from the highest power on down. Now the reason we are reviewing this is because we are going to use these terms throughout factoring. And it's going to relate when we factor, we're actually going to move backwards from standard form to the expanded form. And then we're going to put it in a table and find the factors on the outside. We're actually working backwards. So that's why we're reviewing multiplying, so that when we get to the factoring process, we can see that we are undoing the multiplying. All right, so a quick review of multiplying again. So you have 2x minus 5, 3x minus 1. All right, so this box right here is 2x times 3x, which is 6x squared. The top right box is 3x times negative 5, which is negative 15x. The bottom left box is negative 1 times 2x, which is negative 2x. And then the bottom right box is negative 1 times negative 5, which is positive 5. All right, now expanded form is where you write it before you combine the like terms. So 6x squared minus 15x minus 2x plus 5. Okay, and standard form is highest power to lowest power to the constant, and you combine these like terms. So negative 15x minus 2x is negative 17x, and then the plus 5. So as a review, factored form is where it starts in the two parentheses. That's what factored form looks like. So we had 3x minus 1 and 2x minus 5. Expanded form was having been multiplied out, but before you combine like terms, so that was like this. And then standard form was having been all combined. Now let's relate it back to part 1 real quick. When we did part 1, just as a quick refresher here, we found our two numbers with this process of what multiplies to AC and adds to B. And notice we took our standard form and we wrote it in expanded form. So we're learning how to go backwards. So multiplying goes from the factored form, we multiply it, we have expanded form, and we simplify to standard form. What we're getting ready to learn is going from standard form back to expanded form, and then soon on the next part, we'll be then going back to factored form. Okay, and just as a review, because this will be really important tomorrow, let's work on factoring the GCF. So remember, the GCF is the greatest common factor. So you're thinking the biggest number that goes into 2x squared minus 8x. And so that's going to be 2x. This is from section 7.4. We already reviewed this. We did a little bit of it in 7.2 also. So I like to show it using division. That just helps me personally. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. X squared over x is x. So 1x. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And then x over x simplifies to 1. And that's why it, like, you can think of it as canceling out in a way. Okay, let's look at 2. 9x squared minus 3x. So 9x squared minus 3x, the GCF is going to be 3x because 3 is the biggest number that goes into 9 and 3. Remember, if you need to, you can write the multiples of 9 and the multiples of 3, and the largest one they have in common is 3. That's where I get the 3 from. And remember, the x's, what I'm doing is x squared is like x times x, and then x, what they have in common is they just have an x. So that's why I'm pulling out 3x. So I like to write the division so I can see it. So I'm going 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then x squared divided by x is x. All right, negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. And then x over x simplifies to 1, and that's why you don't see it anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and do 2 more. So on 3, 10x squared plus 5x. So our GCF is 5x. 5 divides nicely into both 10 and 5. Okay, and so 10 divided by 5 is 2. X squared over x is x. 5 divided by 5 is a positive 1. And the x's simplify down to 1, and that's why they essentially, you can kind of think of it as canceling out. Okay, so on 4, let's think about 6 and 9. So 6 is 1 times 6, or 2 times 3. 9 is 1 times 9, or 3 times 3. So the GCF is 3. Now let's think about the x's. X cubed is x times itself 3 times. X squared is x times itself twice. So they both have x times x, like 2 x's. So that's x squared. So the GCF is 3x squared. So I'm going to divide by 3x squared. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. X cubed over x squared is x. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. X squared over x squared simplifies to 1, and that's why you no longer have an x. All right, go ahead and take a minute and finish these 4, and then I will show you the answers. All right, so hopefully you pause the video as needed, and here's the answers to those 4 problems, numbers 5 through 8.